What up, though, homies and homies? This is your homeboy Greasy Teasy. It's called Greasy Teasy because you know I'm a grease ball, I'm a slime ball, but I love teaching. So, do it means less because you're learning the game from a slime ball? Should you learn from a professor? Should you pay a professor $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to learn exactly what you're gonna learn from your homie Greasy Teasy today? I fell asleep late last night, and I dreamed the night and almost half the day away. See, I wish I could sound like Luther Vandross, man. I can't sound like Luther, man, because I'm Grand Tizzle. I sound like a horse. Luther sound like a saxophone. Oops. Oh, y'all must can tell I'm drunk. Excuse me, y'all. But I'm far from drunk. I'm very normal. I'm very down to earth. I'm together, y'all. So stop tripping. Anywho, man, we about to learn some madness. We're gonna get from the silliness, and we're gonna get very professional. And I'm going to teach you guys how to shoot a professional quality music video under any condition. I'm going to show you how to properly light it. And if you can't light it, I'm going to show you how to use natural lighting to get the best quality footage as you possibly can. This particular video we're going to be doing is a video that I shot on my nephew. And we shot in under natural lighting. So I'm going to show you how to not only shoot it, but edit it. And not only edit it, but color grade it. So, without further ado, we're going to get straight to it, fam. So, buckle your seatbelts, you know what I mean? Get your Yahoos, because you know how we do. Get your Kool-Aid, get your liquor, get your nigga, your cigar, whatever you like to do when you sit back and watch these videos, because this one about 3.5 hours long, all right? So, it's your homie Grand Tizzle. Thank you for watching. And get your, on a side note, for real, get your pencil, your pad, and your notebooks, and make sure you take notes. Grab out your cameras. If you don't got the camera, guess what? You got an iPhone, you got a Samsung, you can shoot 4K or 1080p on your doggone phones. The same rule applies. All right, homies and homies, it's your homie Greasy Teasy, and we're gonna move on to the next chapter and begin this true training. We're gonna do it with fun. Ain't gonna be all uptight and stuck up, nah, I mean. And you ain't paying $100,000 for no college. You're paying your homie Grand Tizzle about $5, $10 an hour. Jeez, have fun, homies. So let's move on. All right, welcome back, fam. Now we're gonna work on editing, and I'm gonna answer a few questions, general questions. A lot of people want to know the timing of an edit, when to cut, when to break, do you do it to the rhythm, do you not do it to the rhythm, is there a particular rule? Well, I want to say no, there's not a particular rule. There's a fundamental or principle. The principle is not to leave your audience bored. So with that principle, you're going to edit according to that. So let's hypothetically say you're using you get a very slow R&B song or a very slow piano song, and you're editing nature, hypothetically. This is just hypothetical. So you got a slow, loving, peaceful piano song, and you're showing flowers and birds and trees and water and birds flying and butterflies. You're not going to use abrupt edits. You're not going to use fast clips. You're going to realistically, you're going to use soft, slow fades, transitions, soft transitions, peaceful transitions. Sometimes you might cut, but it depends on the audio, and the more tutorials you watch, the more you'll understand. I'll have you do homework assignments and watch other videos and things like that. So if you're doing a nice, smooth, slow R&B song, the mood is candle lit, the scene is low light, just you're basically working with shadows, a lot of shadows with just a few parts illuminated, you know, like few body parts or maybe close-ups, so champagne, bubbling, candle. You're going to use slow fades, you know. Then you may have a medium, like this was, it's going to be kind of medium. So this can kind of work with fades or just cuts. But the tempo of the song is going to determine the speed of your cuts. So pretty much like a beat, you're going to almost kind of edit the video according to the beat, spirit, tempo, and vibe of the song. If I can put that all in a nutshell for you. You know I can't put nothing in a nutshell for y'all because you know I talk too much. So for the most part, that's how you would do it. All right. So with that in mind, we're going to go in here and attempt to start editing. Now what you're looking at right now is what I did. This is a just kind of a pre-color grading and color correction, and I'm not going to tear you down with all of the ins and outs of that right now because that's a tutorial all in itself. A lot of times you just plug and play, you edit, and you give the video back to the client. This is much more advanced, so we'll definitely dig into this because you're a member, and that's what you know. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for it, you know, advanced knowledge. But what I did was, sometimes I kind of do like a pre-color grade, pre-color correction, and just if I can give it to you in a nutshell, this is raw coming straight from the camera. And this would be considered, I apply a colorista to it, that would be considered correction because this is obviously not the correct look. So this will be considered correction. So that's me bringing back the hues, the saturations, the curves, you know, using these master tools here, using exposure, bringing the exposure up because it was underexposed, obviously. Bringing the density up, bringing the saturation up so I can bring some color back to his skin. Some videos are oversaturated, some are under. It depends on what vibe I'm on. Right now I'm gonna kind of pump it up a little. And then curves, as you see we have the S curve, and they give it a film, you know, film stock use S curves. So that's why they call it S curve. And what it does is it fades, shadows, and highlights the way film does. So it takes that edge off of that video look. So that's pretty much it there. We're gonna get back into this, and then of course I add that's correction, and then this will be considered grading. I add a mojo to it, and the mojo is like give it a film look. Because what it does is it adds certain blues and certain hues to shadows. So as you see here, you know, black is kind of got a like a reddish type of hue to it. But if I cut on the mojo, it tints it blue or like a teal. And we're going to talk about that later on. I got some tutorials I want y'all to check out, helping y'all to appreciate certain color wheels and things like that. It goes very deep. And then we add the sharpening, and I can actually add more sharpening than that, but we'll get back into that later. Now the reason why I don't color correct first and then edit is because, as you see, if we try to play it back here, it's gonna play real choppy. Well, it's not now, but it's going to. It will. Playing a little choppy, but it's not going to play as smooth. I'll cut the audio back on.
I fixed all my mistakes, wasn't confident in my struggle, and I tried to run plays with.
And that's okay. So right now, to make editing easier, I'm just going to take all of that off. All right. So now let's work on editing. So we're going to move on to the next chapter. This was the introduction. We're gonna move on to the next chapter and actually start literally doing some editing. And I'm gonna walk you through the thought process of it. All right, so let's move on and start working. All right, family, check it out. So right now, the subject matter is he's saying that his career is kind of on a standstill, because his team is kind of doing a few other things, and he's contemplating on if he should move on without the team, or wait on the team. If he wait on the team, his career kind of on a standstill. If he move on, he want to make sure that he's, keeps his integrity with his team, his loyalty to his team, but at the same time, he don't want his team to hinder his progress. So with all that, it's a lot weighing on his mind. So the tempo ain't gonna be like we crump. Ain't nobody getting crump. Just a vibe. I'm just speaking my mind right now. I'm kind of feeling things right now. So, that's kind of what I'm working with. So with that, we go over here and we look at the other B-roll footage. And we listen to the tempo and the speed and the pace of the music. We also listen to the chord progressions. How does it make you feel? Yes, all those thoughts goes into editing. Well, a good video director would consider all of these thoughts. So keep that in mind. So with that, we're going to play it and we're going to get a feel for it.
I crept up on the competition, niggas in trouble. When they was calling in sick, I was working doubles. Doctor's excuse say, please excuse this hustle. Been carrying my own weight and I haven't pulled a muscle. I fixed all my mistakes, wasn't confident in my struggle. And I tried to run plays without pitching it to the huddle. Well, that always resorts into a fumble. Now it's game time, tell these other niggas they in trouble. The underdog with them visors on, they ain't see it come.
All right, so we're going to work with that a little bit. So I'm listening to what he's saying. And keep in mind, too, this was all guerrilla shot. See, so we kind of improvising here on, the elements and what we're going to move on and what we're going to be editing. So right now, with the little bit what he's saying here, and I should have sat down with him a little longer and got a little bit more detail. But, we work with what we got. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to start showing some of the elements representing what he may be feeling or that's going to come up to that point. So as you see here, I got like flags. I got like, sports arena. I got the lights. I got him standing, little things like that. So what I'm going to do is listen to it again. Wait, let me listen to the lyrics again.
I crept up on the competition, niggas in trouble. When they was calling in sick, I was working doubles.
Okay, so we're kind of established some shots where he's at right here. So what we're gonna do is let me go in here, and normally I would separate all of these windows. I got two monitors. I would put this over to the right, and I would use all this as editing, but we can use this for now. All right. So we're going to first the flag. And we're not going to use the flag first because we don't want this to be patriotic here, right? We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to send no type of subliminal message. The flags mean absolutely nothing in this video. It's just an element that's at this park, you see. So keep that in mind here. And we're not going to raise those elements until the second half. So all right, so let me find some elements here. See, so right there, so that's a good establishing shot. So we can go from that, and we won't spend too much time on that because we don't want anybody to think that we're being, we try to keep it as unpatriotic or, keep it neutral as possible. Boom. So that establishes something. That establishes the location. Where are they at? Where are they? So we'll put that there. And as far as these here, keep in mind all of those is his performance tracks. So We're going to slide them back. We're going to bring them in as needed. But right now, we're going to establish some other things. All right, and keep in mind, remember too, that this is shot in 4K. So I could play around with some things here.
I crept up on the competition.
All right, let's see here. Oh, and by the way, I apologize. I should have let y'all know what I just did. This is a fade in here, and I created this fade in by holding Control and clicking on the timeline here, and you can pull them down. You can adjust it. If you hold Control, you can create a bevel, and I'm gonna get more in detail about what these things are. But what that does is allow you to apply a little curve to it, so that this is a linear fade, and linear means just straight line. It's just line. That's why it's called linear line. So it's a straight line. It's rigid. This little curve gives it more of a softer bend as opposed to a solid fade in. Anyway, we don't use those a whole lot when it comes to just editing video like this. We use this in like special effects, something like After Effects or something like that. But for the most part, we just use that. And that's a simple fade in. Now at the beginning of the tutorial, I want to make sure, I reiterate this. You can, Adobe allow you to, I think it's a 15 or a 30-day free trial before you can start using it. There's other ways, obviously you can get it. There's different ways that you can get Adobe Premiere, but I like working with the Adobe Premiere, and the reason why is because of After Effects and Photoshop. They all work hand in hand. Now we're gonna get into all that later. That's more advanced. Just follow me, just stick with me, and you're gonna learn all of those different things and techniques. So anyway, I just wanted to lay that down to you. Because there's a variety of transitions. So right here we're going to use fades and cuts. All right, so let's fade in first. Okay. Now right here, and now movement and feel got a lot to do with things too. So we're going to keep that in mind. Movement and feel. So I'm going to feel how long this should be before we cut to something else. I will cut here, because you don't want it to be too long. You got to keep in mind you're entertaining. You don't want to bore your viewers, so you got to be careful how long you keep things. There's a lot of random shots here, so they're walking to practice. I want to cut. We're not going to cut here because this is like the same shot. You got to give it a little bit of variety. So we'll cut over here. This is a different angle, and they're doing something different here. All right, so I'll make sure I don't pick nothing wobbly. Oh, sorry about that. I don't pick anything wobbly or unsteady unless I did it on purpose. So for example, here I'm still establishing my camera. See, so the camera's shaking and is wobbling. Okay, it looked like it's established right here, and it's standing. Okay, now when I don't use none of those. Right now I'm just establishing my camera and my shots. So right here. So let's go back to here. It looked like I had it here for a little while. You don't need it that long, just boom. So I'll immediately take it from there. So now we get a sense of what's going on. Oh, okay, he's at the field. All right. So now let's see how these two clips play along with each other.